You could spend years mastering finance, read every book on investing, but if you don't understand your own mind, you're always going to be one step behind. Because when it comes to money, it's really not about spreadsheets, it's about psychology.
See, our decisions are rarely, if ever, made with pure logic. They're actually driven by a lifetime of experiences, our fears, our desires. Our personal history dictates our financial lives way more than any calculation ever could.
So what are these hidden traps? Well, in this explainer, we're going to uncover the invisible mental scripts that quietly run our financial lives. We're going to pull back the curtain on the silent biases that work against you and explore the mindset shifts that can help you finally break free. Let's begin.
First, we have to look inward, because the biggest battle you'll ever face isn't with the stock market, it's right here, inside your own head. It's a battle with the biases that shape how you see money, often without you even knowing it.
Think about it like this. A stockbroker who lost everything in the Great Depression is going to see risk in a way that's completely different from a tech worker who got rich in the dot-com boom. What seems like a totally crazy financial move to one person is perfectly rational to another, because it's based on their own unique life story.
And that's the first major trap. We all think we're being logical, but our view of the world is incredibly limited by our own personal history. It's kind of like living inside a bubble that's been shaped by our past, and that bubble influences just about every financial choice we ever make.
But it's not just our internal world at play. There are these huge, external forces, things we can't control, that play a massive role in our financial outcomes. Understanding them is the key to playing a game you can actually win.
Take this story, for example. Bill Gates is brilliant, no doubt, but he also had a 1 in a million stroke of luck. He went to one of the only high schools in the world with a computer back in the 70s. His best friend, Kent Evans, was just as brilliant, but he was hit by a 1 in a million stroke of risk, a fatal accident. Same talent, completely different outcomes. And neither of those outcomes was fully in their control.
So what's the lesson here? It's that success isn't always earned and failure isn't always deserved. Instead of trying to copy an extreme outlier like Gates, whose success relied on luck you can't possibly replicate, the goal should be to build a financial life that's resilient, one that can survive a bit of bad luck so you're still in the game when the good luck eventually shows up.
Okay, now let's shift our focus outward. Because we're constantly navigating all these misleading social pressures and illusions about what wealth actually looks like, and this is where some of the most dangerous traps are hidden.
We've all fallen for this one. We think that if we just drive the right car or wear the right watch, people will admire us. But there's this really fascinating paradox at play that completely flips that idea on its head.
I mean, think about it. When you see someone driving an amazing car, do you really think about the person behind the wheel? Or do you imagine yourself driving it? We mistakenly believe that buying impressive things will earn us admiration, when really, people just admire the things. In that process, you become completely invisible.
This brings us to the core difference between being rich and looking rich. Looking rich is all about spending, but being wealthy, that's about not spending. True wealth is the money you didn't use to buy the flashy car. It's the stocks and bonds quietly growing in the background. It's silent.
At the end of the day, the path to financial freedom isn't about showing off. It's about making a conscious choice, choosing long-term peace of mind over short-term and often imaginary praise from others.
So what's the path forward? Well, it's not about complicated strategies. It's actually about mastering a few pretty counterintuitive principles, the soft skills of money, which turn out to be far more powerful than any technical knowledge.
Just look at this number for a second. $156 billion. That's about how much of Warren Buffett's wealth was earned after his 65th birthday.
See, Buffett's real secret wasn't some genius move where he chased massive risky returns. He just got good, solid returns, and he did it for a very, very long time. His superpower wasn't brilliance, it was time. That's the almost unbelievable power of compounding at work. Now, to get those long-term returns, you have to pay a price. And that price is dealing with the stress and the doubt and the fear that comes with market downturns. But here's the key. That volatility isn't a fine for making a mistake. It's simply the fee. It's the price of admission for the returns you hope to get.
And that's why survival is everything. Getting rich requires taking risks, but staying rich requires humility. If you can just avoid disaster and stay in the game long enough, compounding will do all the heavy lifting for you.
All of this brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. Why? I mean, why are we even doing any of this? The ultimate goal isn't just to get more things, it's to get more control. We tend to think of saving as a sacrifice, something you do for a specific goal. But the most powerful form of saving is simply creating options for yourself. It's the gap you build between what you earn and what your ego tells you to spend. That gap buys you flexibility. It buys you the ability to say no.
And the research on this is crystal clear. A strong sense of controlling your own life is a much better predictor of happiness than your salary, your job title, or the size of your house. Control over your time, that is the highest dividend money will ever pay.
And that's really the end game. It's not about retiring so you can do nothing. It's about living life on your own terms. The real goal of all this isn't accumulation. It's autonomy. The freedom to design your own life. Because true wealth isn't about what you have, it's about what you can do.